What up, y'all? It's Randy Orton Fan 2011 back here once again for round 23 of 36 in Season 3 of the PORWC Pepsi Cup Series. This is the fourth stop in our Canadian tour, as we are now in Toronto Lakeshore Speedway for the Rogers Communications 400. So after the events of a great nationwide race, we'll get to see the Cup Series here, and of course, as the regular season draws ever so closer to a close, it's going to be interesting to see how everything transpires over the course of the next 4 races. And after this, we'll have 3 more races. We'll have Montreal, the final stop on our Canadian tour. Then we'll go to Atlanta, and then Hogzilla will determine who will make the playoffs and who will be left on the outside looking in. So we're set to go here for 40 laps here at Toronto, just so that you know. But first, let's take a look at the starting lineup. I was looking at your starting lineup. Sean Henley will be starting on the pole. He currently is out on the outside looking in the top 10 and currently does not hold a wild card spot. So I do want to make a mention that Sean Henley is going to need to get himself some good runs here if he wants to get himself into the top 10 in points. He's currently 12th in the points, 6 points out of the 10th position that is currently occupied by Seth Cole. So we'll see how everything transpires over the course of that race. It's Ryan Richards, our points leader, having quite a solid season over the course of the past few races. He's finishing the top dozen, 16 out of 22 races, so look for Ryan Richards to be a contender early on in this race. So we're just about ready to fire up these engines. Let's get started under the lights here in Toronto. Here you go, engines have been fired up. 40 laps here in Toronto. It's going to be quite a long race. We're going to see a lot of action throughout the pack here, especially around mid-pack and the back of the pack. We're going to see quite a lot of action around that area. As we're under the lights here at Toronto, over 100,000 plus here from Toronto and many parts of Canada ready to go racing as the pace car hits pit road. And here we go. Green flag is out here in Toronto under the lights. Now again, we're going to be paying attention to the back of the pack here because this is where a lot of action happens. A lot of shit goes down here in the back of the pack, and you'll know right around the time we start getting to a couple of laps here, as they already starting to spread out now. Cars are already starting to spread out here throughout the pack. Sean Henley leads the first lap. That is a huge bonus point for Sean Henley. He's going to need every point he can get. Yellow flag is out. Zohar Manood and William Duncan are around. They're still racing back to the line. Well, at least the front cars are still racing back to the line, that is. And Sean Henley beats the field to the line. Ryan Richards second, Danny Walls third, Tony Blazer fourth, and Seth Cole rounds at the top 5. A couple cars went around towards the back of the pack. Zohar Manood and William Duncan went around. I don't know how many other cars got involved as we're under the yellow flag for the first time this race. Let's take a look. We'll put us under yellow flag at number 1. Stay tuned. This brings it yellow flag number 1 in this race, and Kyle Sosnowski gets ever so slightly on the his left side tires ever so slightly on the apron, gets loose coming off turn 4. Around goes William Duncan, and Zohar Manood's also going to get involved as well. And there's a second incident, and that is with Sean Galligan and Ryan Cooper. So 4 cars hitting the wall here. Has put us under the yellow flag for the first time this race. This is the race back to the start-finish line, and would be Sean Henley being the field to the line. So it didn't take long until we got our first yellow flag of the race. I'll tell you, it's not going to be, I'll tell you, it's still a long way from being over here. Now let's get you back to green flag racing. Stay tuned. We're back. Pacers giving us the one to go. Here's the top 10 rundown. Sean Henley, Ryan Richards, Danny Wells, that's the top 3. Then it's Tony Blazer and Seth Cole, 4th and 5th. Randy Carpenter, 6th. Cody Lama, 7th. Pete Chulon, 8th. Trent Dunham, 9th. And Eric Burton rounds at the top 10. No cards of DNF from the previous incident, as we're just about ready to get set for the restart on lap 7, as the pace car hits pit road once again. Green flag is back in the air for the restart on lap 7. So now the cars are single file. We'll see how every car will fare over the course of this race and which line every car will take. And again, 3 and 4 wide, right around the back of the pack here. 3 and 4 wide, right around the back of the pack. I'll tell you, the action really happens right around the back here. And around Emilio Navarrete, gonna scrape the inside wall. No yellow flag. Emilio Navarrete loose again. Emilio Navarrete, who had his best finish of the season, second place in Winnipeg. He is having a tough time maneuvering around this track in Toronto. Couple cars are around. Barney Ward's around. Barney Ward and more. More cars are around. Jacob Lawler, Emilio Navarrete taking damage. Joseph Lombard is around. Also saw a couple other cars. Barney Ward was the first guy around, I believe. Yellow flag is out for the second time in this race. And I believe they've already taken the stripe here. So Sean Henley will be the leader. Ryan Richards second. Danny Wells third. Seth Cole fourth. Tony Blazer rounds at the top 5. Quite a lot of cars got involved around the turn 3 and 4 area. That's put us under yellow flag number 2 in this race. Now let's take you to what put us under yellow flag number 2. Stay tuned. This brings it yellow flag number 2 in the race. They're 3 wide right around this area. Callum Wales makes a bit of contact with Barney Ward. Gets him a little loose down the backstretch. Oh, I believe there was some contact right around this area. Oh, Callum Wales tries to fall back in line. He gets contact with Jacob Lawler. Lyndon Wright's going to go around. Barney Ward's going to take a hard hit. And that's not going to be it. There's going to be a bunch of more cars get involved in this. James Qualls and James Qualls just barely avoiding it. Dylan Young actually got a piece of that one. James McLeod getting by, and there's going to be more cars. There's going to be quite a lot of cars. There's more Wolfgang Mason. Oh, Red Bell just barely got clipped by Barney Ward, and there, right around here, someone's going to get around. I believe Dylan Poteet, our defending champ, actually gets a full head of steam, tries to pass Richard Johnson on the inside, and then Richard Johnson just gives him a little tap, and that's enough to put Poteet in the wall. James Silverfox is around as well. Oh, something happened with Sean Galligan again. And I believe that is John Waycross getting a little loose, maybe. Yes, he actually gets on the apron here. He gets really loose. He gets into Sean Galligan. And Sean Galligan going to go around as well. And Emilio Navarrete trying to avoid. He really lost a handle on the car, trying to avoid everything. And Richard Johnson going to make slight bit of contact, and he's going to make contact with Jacob Lawler. Oh, and right around here, we saw something happen. I believe Kyle Sosnowski just... Well, I don't know what that was for. Something... Let's see what happened here. Sosnowski came over at such a speed, and Ricky Hawk just an unfortunate soul on that one. He tried to block, and that is what got them with some damage. As we're under yellow flag, that's what put us under yellow flag number 2 in this race. Now we get you back to green flag racing. Pace cars giving us the one to go. It looks like the top 10 are still intact. There's Emilio Navarrete. He's going to be a lap down. Couple cars DNF from the race. Dylan Poteet, Jacob Lawler, Ricky Hawk, and Barney Ward. And the biggest losers out of that one are going to be Dylan Poteet and Barney Ward. Dylan Poteet, I don't believe you're going to see him you're not going to see Dylan Poteet all the time on that dead last position. This is a tough break for Dylan Poteet. Green flag is back in the air for the restart on lap 13. Look at Richard Johnson. Really had to catch up with the rest of the field. And he's going to pull ahead. of another down car of Emilio Navarrete. And again, Emilio Navarrete holding up the field here. Emilio Navarrete holding up the field. Cars are in the wall. Cars in the wall. James McLeod's around. James McLeod is around. Lyndon Wright is in it as well. Yellow flag is out again. And I believe Kyle Sosnowski also got a piece of that as well. Oh, shit. More cars. Seth Cole, who was running in the top. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And it all started right around here. This was the scene. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but wow. Unbelievable. And it all started with the lap down car of Emilio Navarrete, and there's just so much more going on. Wow, I don't know how many cars are going to be left after this. We're going to have to take a good look at that, because I believe some penalties might have to be given out there, as we're under yellow flag number 3 in this race. Now let's get you to what happened under. Well, we're going to have quite a long replay here. As far as I know, we're going to have quite a long replay. I don't know how many cars we're going to be down to, but yellow flag is out again for the 3rd time this race. Now let's get you to the replay. As it brings up yellow flag number 3 in the race, and I believe James McLeod gets on the apron. He gets really loose. He goes up the racetrack. He's going to get into Wolfgang Mason and James Qualls. And around goes McLeod. Sean Galligan going to get into it, and then Lyndon Wright also going to get involved. Kyle Sosnowski going to get clipped right there by Lyndon Wright. That's what put us under yellow flag number 3. Now that wasn't the end of it, though. This wasn't the end of it. Emilio Navarrete intentionally holding up the field here. He's holding up the field. Randy Carpenter gets really loose, and around goes Seth Cole. He was running in the 4th position at the time. And that's going to get all these other cars on the inside line. They're going to get caught up in it. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 10 cars. 10 cars getting involved in that, and wow. I'll tell you, the racing action ain't over until it's over here. And then we had more. Then we had another incident that happened in front of these guys. Trying to figure out where it starts. And let's see what happens here. Oh, it actually starts a chain reaction between a couple of other cars. You see here, I believe a couple cars were trying to avoid it. They slowed down. William Duncan comes up in front of Red Bell, and Dylan Young just could not slow down fast enough, nowhere to go. James Silverfox is going to get involved in it as well. Zara Manoud going to catch some airtime. Stephen Whitman, our special competition winner, is going to get into it. There's John Waycross. He's going to get a piece of it. So at least half the field there getting involved in all those incidents. And it all started with Emilio Navarrete. And I'll tell you, PORWC officials, they are not happy with Emilio Navarrete. They are going to give Emilio Navarrete a disqualification. So Emilio Navarrete has been disqualified from the race. He will not receive points at all. He will not receive points from this race, and he will also suffer a 10-point penalty. So that pretty much mathematically eliminates him from playoff contention. So Emilio Navarrete was he got a little too excited trying to hold up cars a lap down, and well, that's not going to be very too kind with the PORWC officials. So Emilio Navarrete has been disqualified, and he will have to report to the PORWC trailer at the conclusion of this race. He can continue racing, but he will not receive any points, and he will get a 10-point penalty for holding up the field right around the top 10 area. Sean Henley is still your leader as we are under the yellow flag number 3 in this race, and now we get you back to green flag racing. We're back, Chris. Giving us the one to go once again. Here comes in our top 10 rundowns. Sean Henley, Ryan Richards, Danny Wells, Tony Blazer, and I believe Cody Lamas is now in the 5th position. Pichu London, Michael Norman, Liam Ervig, Alex Jones, and Sam Young rounded the rest of the top 10. A bunch of cars have DNF'd from the race. As you can see, John Waycross, Stephen Whitman, Dylan Young, Wolfgang Mason, Eric Burton, Trent Dunham, Randy Carpenter, and Lyndon Wright. A bunch of other cars are going to be a lap down. And of course, like we said, Emilio Navarrete has been disqualified from the race. Pace car will hit pit road once again. Hopefully we'll get some green flag laps here as we're under the green once again here in lap 18. And again, you got to be one of those front cars. You want to be one of those front cars so that you won't be held up by lap down traffic. As you can see right there, Danny Wells getting held up by some lap down cars. And he's going to lose quite a lot of ground on the top two, Ryan Richards and Sean Henley. You see Seth Cole, James Silverfox, they're coming down pit road. They're going to need to get some work done on those cars. Now with the smaller field here, we'll see how the rest of the race goes on. We've now reached the halfway point of this race. Sean Henley leads at lap 19. Sean Henley trying to lead that at the halfway point. He's going to need every point he can get if he wants to get himself into the top 10 in points. Yellow flag is out. The yellow flag is out again, and Alex Jones is around. Alex Jones, Sean Galligan around as well. Jake Cole and Red Bell. Oh shit, more cars. And more cars right at the start-finish line are going around. And look at that, Joseph Lombard up in smoke, he's done for the day. Anthony McCurry, heavy damage. Austin Ogo also with a lot of damage on that car. And look at Ben Paul, he's on pit road. Yellow flag is out for the 4th time in this race. So we're not really quite getting any green flag runs here. But we're under yellow flag number 4 in this race. Now let's get used to the replay and we'll put us under the yellow flag for the 4th time. Stay tuned. This brings it yellow flag number 4 in the race. And I believe there was some contact between Sam Young and Ryan Cooper both running in the top 10. Around is going to go Sean Galligan. Ryan Cooper going to take some damage there. He's going to continue on. And there's going to be something that happens behind these guys. I believe Red Bell tries to come back in line. She gets into Alex Jones, and Emilio Navarrete's going to be in it again. And then you see all these other cars. They're going to try to avoid it. Yellow flag came out at this point right around here. Now something's going to happen right around this area, I believe, because that was not going to be the end of it. And it started right around here. I'm trying to figure out. I believe Ben Paul is going to make some contact with Austin Ogo. And he's going to turn around Emilio Navarrete again. And there goes Joseph Lombard going to get into it. Callum Wells, Anthony McCurry is going to get into it as well. There's James Qualls, just nowhere to go. William Duncan's going to get involved. Ryan Cooper going to go around again. And Zohar Manoud also going to get more of that as well. So we're going to have quite a diminished field throughout the rest of this race, and a couple cars that got involved early in earlier incidents might be going to have some lucky breaks here and actually crack themselves into the top 25 or top 20, dependent on what happens over the course of the rest of this race. Sean Henley is the leader still, as he leads at the halfway point, and he's now led the most laps in this race, so 3 bonus points for Sean Henley, as we are under the yellow flag for the 4th time in this race. Now let's get you back to green flag racing. We're back. PSO is giving us the one to go. A bunch more cars are DNF'd from the race. Sean Galligan, Ben Paul, Joseph Lombard, Zohar Manoud, James Qualls, and Jake Cole is also DNF'd from the race. So now we're down to 24 cars. Well, technically 23 because one of them has been disqualified. Sean Henley is still your leader. Ryan Richards 2nd. Danny Wells 3rd. Tony Blazer 4th. Cody Lamas runs at the top 5. Then it's Michael Norman, Liam Ervig, Pete London, Ty Naughton, and Sam Young the rest of the top 10. We'll take the restart with 16 laps to go here in this race. I'll tell you, it's not over till it's over. We still got quite a ways to go in this race. Green flag is back into the air for the restart on lap 25. And again, the top 3 able to get past the lap down car of Richard Johnson. Tony Blazer is going to have to deal with him for a little bit, as well as Cody Lamas. I don't know, I mean, we've had quite a lot of action going on. Well, we got a full green flag lap, but we've only had like about 1 or 2 green flag laps, or 3 over the course of this race so far. Again, more lap down cars really starting to have some, really playing a factor over the course of this race. As you see the leaders passing by James Silverfox and Seth Cole. 14 laps to go now. Sean Henley in firm control of the lead. And now we got Ryan Richards trying to defend that second position from Danny Wells. Of course, both Danny Wells and Sean Henley trying to get themselves into the top 10 in points, and considering what happened to a couple of drivers, they're now trying to take advantage of that and get themselves into the top 10 in points. Again, looks like the field is now spread out just a bit. You see Anthony McCurry going to come back on the racetrack here. You see, still got some action towards the back of the pack here. Still quite a lot of action going on around there. Back to the lead battle we go. Sean Henley still the leader. About almost 5/100ths of a second faster than Ryan Richards that previous lap. We're almost done here. Sean Henley has led all the laps so far in this race. And again, it's going to take quite a lot of work for Ryan Richards to get to Sean Henley's back bumper for his 5th win of the season. Again, he might need some help from Danny Wells. There's Tony Blazer running in 4th position. Not having much luck in the wild card hunt, but he's coming up with consistent runs. So Tony Blazer, he's trying to get himself in the top 10, but there's not many races left to go before the end of the regular season. Come around with 9 laps to go. Sean Henley still the leader. Again, you got a couple other cars. They're heading in and out of pit road with quite a lot of damage. Looks like they will not be a factor in the course of this over the rest of this race. 8 laps to go now. Sean Henley in firm control of the lead. He has been dominant most of this race after starting on the pole. Sean Henley looking for his first win since Talladega of season 2. So Sean Henley, if he can stay mistake-free here, he'll capture his first win of the season and his 5th overall in the Pepsi Cup Series. Again, we'll take a look at some of the action towards the mid-pack and the back of the pack here. Everyone looks like is now spread out around this area. There again, those are the cars that are off the pace here. They're heading on and off pit road, as you can tell. Ryan Richards actually gained a bit of ground on Sean Henley there, but Sean Henley actually running some good lap times here. Now we got a battle here for 3rd between Danny Wells and Tony Blazer. 5 laps to go now, and Sean Henley still the leader, still in control. Still can control his own destiny here in Toronto. Still a free-for-all for the rest throughout the rest of the way here in the course of this race. 4 laps to go now for Sean Henley. Again, Ryan Richards can't really come up with enough help, can't get enough drafting help, can't really get the lap times that he needs to catch up to Sean Henley here as we come around with 3 laps to go. There's Danny Wells and Tony Blazer. They're battling for 3rd position. Cody Lamas trying to defend 5th from Michael Norman, currently in 6th. Peter London looking for another the 7th top 10 of the season. Currently in 7th. Liam Ervig looking for another top 10 in 8th. Ty Naughton with another good run in 9th, and Sam Young, who hasn't had a top 10 in quite a while, currently running in the last spot in the top 10. 2 laps to go now for Sean Henley. Again, Seth Cole, he's coming on and off the pit road. He's going to lose quite a lot of laps. He'll end up 23rd after a bunch of cars DNF from the race. Here we go. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for Sean Henley. He's going to need to get past the disqualified car of Emilio Navarrete, but it won't slow him down too much for Sean Henley. Sean Henley able to stay clear, and he's got to do is come through turns 3 and 4, and he has done. He's got his first victory coming off of turn 4. The Viagra man himself, Sean Henley, takes the checkered flag here at Toronto. He wins the Rogers Communications 400 here in Toronto Lakeshore Speedway. That's his first win of the season, and his first win since Talladega of Season 2. Huge win for Sean Henley. That's going to help him out quite a lot in the points. That's going to get himself back in the top 10. Ryan Richards, a points leader, will come away with his 7th podium finish, probably a big record here, as his 7th podium finish. Another great day for our points leader, Ryan Richards. He might be able to capture a top 10 playoff spot, depending on how the other cars finish the race. But we finally had our big green flag run there right at the end. And for Sean Henley, it all paid off as he was the dominant car all day. And he will go into victory lane here in Toronto. And now we take a look at your official race results. As look at your official race results, congratulations to Sean Henley, his first win of the season and his fifth career win in the Pepsi Cup Series. And he'll most certainly get himself into the top 10 in points, considering some of the things that have happened to some of the guys in the top 10 in the points. Ryan Richards and Danny Wells run at the podium. That's a huge podium finish for Danny Wells, going to get himself in a better position, at least in the wild card hunt, and he might get himself in the top 10 in points as well. Tony Blazer with a 4th place finish, and Cody Lamas runs at the top 5. Michael Norman, Pichu London, Liam Irving, Ty Naughton, and Sam Young run at the top 10. 11th through 20th are, 8 more cars that actually ended up finishing the race on the lead lap. Charles Jackson, Ryan Cooper, Callum Wales, Alex Jones, Kyle Sosnowski, Red Bell, Austin Ogo, and William Duncan. James McLeod, Richard Johnson finished a lap down. Emilio Navarrete will cross line in 21st, but he has been disqualified from the race, therefore he will get no points, and he has also incurred a 10-point penalty. So for Emilio Navarrete, that will mathematically eliminate him from playoff contention. And that's too bad for Emilio Navarrete. Shouldn't have done that on one of those incidents, and he's going to pay the price big time. Anthony McCurry, Seth Cole, and James Silverfox were the last cars to finish the race. 18 cars DNF from the race. Jake Cole, James Quall, Zohar Manood, Joseph Lombard, Ben Paul, Sean Galligan, Lyndon Wright, Randy Carpenter, Trent Dunham, Eric Burton, Wolfgang Mason, Dylan Young, Stephen Whitman, John Waycross, Barney Ward, Ricky Hawk, Jacob Lawler, and Dylan Poteet. Well, we're almost done here on our Canadian Tour. One more stop in the Canadian Tour, and that is Montreal. And no, that's not Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. That's not it, because that track fucking sucks. It's going to be another track. It's going to be like a super speedway of such, but it's going to be in Montreal, so we'll be ready for that after we're done here. We're almost done with our Canadian Tour, and then we got 3 more races left in the regular season. That is Montreal, and then we got 2 more after that, after the last stop in our Canadian Tour. That is Atlanta and Hogzilla. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Alright guys, we're almost done with our Canadian Tour. 1 more stop, and then we will be done with our Canadian Tour. And hope you enjoyed this race. This is Randy Orton Fan 2011 signing off. Remember to subscribe to me and become a member of the gang. This race has been brought to you by Pepsi Next. Crisp, refreshing, amazing Pepsi Next. I'm out.